نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهد. I wanted to discuss a narration that appears many times in our books and also in the books of the Ahlul Sunnah. So we know that regarding the 12th Imam or the concept of the Mahdi, there are many narrations such as the signs of the reappearance of the Imam. And we know that some of these signs are going to happen for sure, and some of these signs, we're not sure if they will happen or not. There are many signs that are recorded in the books of hadith. But there is a hadith or several ahadith that reoccur quite often. And our ulama have accepted these narrations. And in fact, even the Ahlul Sunnah have accepted these narrations. They have this understanding of the reports that I will inshallah quote today. And that is the idea, and I'm sure all of you have heard of this, the idea that when the Mahdi will come, that he will bring a new deen. That it will look like as if he is bringing a new Islam and a new deen, actually. I'm sure all of you have heard of this idea that when the time of the Zuhur comes, people will say, what is this religion? We have never seen this religion. That this is a new religion. And what has happened in the last century especially, because of the several movements that have happened in the Muslim world, many people who have tried to do revolutions or do reform, they have relied on these reports to say that, look, the Muslims, we have really messed up, right? And in fact, we have messed up so much that here's the proof. That as we get closer to the time of the Zuhur, our religion that we follow, our belief system is going to be so incorrect. And that's why we have narrations that say that when the Mahdi will come, it will be as if it's a new deen. I've never heard of this deen before. I've never seen this deen before. So tonight, we want to actually look at these reports and we want to analyze exactly what are these narrations saying. So before I go into the analysis, we're going to be fair and we're going to read some of these narrations because they are in our reliable books. So we should know what these ahadith are, and then inshallah we will do a brief analysis of these narrations. For example, in Kitab al-Irshad of Shaykh Mufid, he quotes from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam where he says that إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمِ, when the Qaim will do his qiyam, دَعَ النَّاسَ إِلَى الْإِسْلَامِ جَدِيدًا, he will invite people to Islam as if it's a new religion from beginning. وَهَدَاهُمْ إِلَى أَمْرٍ قَدْ دُثِّرَ فَضَلَّ عَنْحُ الْجُمُورِ, and he will invite people to a affair, to an amr, to a command, which had been completely polluted, and فَضَلَّ عَنْحُ الْجُمْهُورِ, and the masses have gone astray from that, the religion. And this is why he is going to be called the Mahdi, لِأَنَّهُ يَهْدِي إِلَىٰ أَمْرٍ قَدْ ضَلُّوا عَنْهُ. This is why he will be called the Mahdi, because he will do hidayat of the people to something that they have completely become astray from. Wow, that's quite a big claim. Okay. This is from, I believe also from Kitab al-Irshad. Also from the Imam. إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمُ جاء بأمر جديد. He will come with a new command. كما دعا رسول الله في بدو الإسلام إلى أمر جديد. So you will find this comparison with the Prophet. When the Prophet brought the religion to the Arabian society, it was a new religion, a completely different belief. They were doing shirk. The Prophet is coming and bringing a new religion. So just like that, the Mahdi, the Qaim will do the same thing. In Kitab al-Ghaiba of a scholar named Nu'mani, these are all translated books. You can find them on Al-Islam. Also from Imam Baqir, he says, إِنَّ قَائِمَنَا إِذَا قَامَ دَعَى النَّاسِ إِلَىٰ أَمْرٍ جَدِيدٍ كَمَا دَعَى إِلَيْهِ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. When our Qaim will do Qiyam, he will invite people to a new religion, just like the Prophet invited people to a new religion. Another narration, إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمُ اسْتَأْنَفَ دُعَاءً جَدِيدًا كَمَا دَعَى رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. When the Qaim begins the invitation, it is as if he's starting from the beginning. Okay, it will be a new invitation. Okay. There is a companion by the name of Abu Basir. And Abu Basir comes to Imam Sadiq in this narration. And he says, "Oh Imam, there is a narration that is narrated by all of the Muslim community at that time. That إِنَّ الْإِسْلَامَ بَدَأَ غَرِيبًا وَسَيَعُودُ غَرِيبًا كَمَا بَدَأَ." That Islam started as a strange religion, and it will return back to becoming a strange religion. وَهَذَا حَدِيثٌ مَعْرُوفٌ يُرْوَى عَنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ. So Abu Basir is saying, this is a famous report, everybody is narrating this. رَوَاهُ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ الْخَاصِ وَالْعَامِ. That the Shia are also narrating, and the Sunnis and the non-Shia are also narrating. Okay, so what do I do? قال أبو بصير فقلت له اشرح لي هذا جعلت فداك يا ابن رسول الله. Please explain this to me, I don't get it. How can it be that Islam began as a stranger in the time of the Prophet? It was a new thing. How can it be that centuries later, 1,000 years later, that it will become as if a new religion again? So the Imam says, يَسْتَأْنِفُ الدَّاعِي مِنَّا دُعَاءً جَدِيدًا كَمَا دَعَى رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. That he will, the da'i, the one who will invite to the new, to the mission, will invite people to the mission just like the Prophet invited people to the mission. Okay? Last narration I will quote from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. He says, يَقُومُ الْقَائِمُ. The Qaim will do Qiyam بِأَمْرٍ جَدِيدٍ وَكِتَابٍ جَدِيدٍ وَقَضَاءٍ جَدِيدٍ عَلَى الْعَرَبِ الشَّدِيدِ. Everything will be new. The Kitab, the Qadha, the Amr. All right. So these are reports that are there. I'm sure most of you have, many of you have come across these. Okay, let's try to analyze this, because this, at the same time, it sounds pretty fascinating. Oh, you know what? Muslims are so messed up, they're so corrupt, our beliefs are wrong, and we have to fix things in our faith and religion, and that's why the Mahdi will have to fix everything, and so on. But let's try to do a little bit of analysis, right? When we say someone will come with a new religion, do we really think that this will mean that, for example, let's say time of Maghrib Salat. Time of Maghrib Salat, there is a difference of opinion between the Shia and the Sunni. In fact, there is also difference of opinion amongst the Shia fuqaha themselves. Most of them give ihtiyat. Okay. Imagine now the Imam has done zuhur, and he will come and tell the Shia, guess what? You guys were wrong. The Sunnis were right. Okay, let's say he tells us that. Are we going to feel that, oh my God, you have come with a new deen? Does that sound like a new deen? Or does that sound like, hey, Okay, a fiqhi difference of opinion, whatever. Some of our fuqaha got it wrong, some of them got it right. Doesn't sound like a new deen. New deen would mean if the imam comes and he says, oh, by the way, Fajr was meant to be 3 and Maghrib was meant to be 2. Oh, boy. If you say that, I will say, man, this is a new religion. We messed it up from day one. Or if he comes and he says that, you know what, the time of fasting is from Maghrib to Fajr. Or if he says the Hajj that you're doing, Aslan, is not even wajib. You were supposed to go to some other place, not to Mecca. You're supposed to go to the US or somewhere, I don't know. Okay, if he says this, yeah, I can agree that, you know what, our beliefs were completely wrong. We messed up big time, and 100% it will sound like a new religion. But this is extremely difficult to accept. Okay? This is extremely difficult to accept, that the imam will come and he will tell us that we got these things wrong as well. That we got the wujub of salat wrong, the wujub of siyam wrong, the wujub of hajj, like the main fundamentals that the entire Muslim ummah agrees on, that, you know what, we even got these wrong. Okay, this is extremely far-fetched. So you have two possibilities. One possibility is that he will come and he will fix, you know, some differences of opinions that exist amongst the jurists, amongst the fuqaha. We don't really consider them to be, you know, a new deen. Or he will say that, you know what, the salat was not even wajib. That I can understand is going to be a new deen, but it's hard to believe that is what the imam is going to do. Okay. So how can we understand? So then what does it mean, new deen? We have to understand these narrations. Look, what is the entire purpose of the Mahdi? We have to figure this out first. The constant theme in the narrations of Imam al-Mahdi is that he will يَمْلَأُ الْأَرْضِ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا كَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. This is the fundamental principle of justice. That he will fill, the purpose is that he will fill the earth with justice, just like it was filled with tyranny and injustice. This is the point of the Mahdi. This is the purpose of the Imam when he will do his zuhur. So actually, all the rest of the narrations that you come across, you have to try and understand it within this principle. You have to try and understand them within this principle. All right, let me give you some examples which are going to help you understand what does it mean, Amrin Jadid or Deenin Jadid, okay? There is a narration in Ilal al-Shara'i, a book by Sheikh Saduq, where a man comes to Imam Baqir alayhi salam and he, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He says to the Imam, Rahimakallah, may Allah have mercy on you, O Imam, اقبض هذه ال500 درهم فدع في موضعها فإنها زكاة مالي. Take this 500 dirham from me, O Imam. This is the zakat of my own zakat. Here you go, you distribute the zakat. فقال له أبو جعفر عليه السلام بل خذها أنت فدعا في جيرانك والأيتام والمساكين وفي إخوانك من المسلمين. No, you keep the money and you distribute it to your neighbors and the orphans and the, you know, maskeen people, poor people, and the community members. You distribute it. Because this act of distribution, إنما يكون هذا إذا قام قائمنا فإنه يقسم بالسوية ويعدل في خلق الرحمن. This act of distribution that you're telling me to do, I will not do it right now. This is something that the Qaim is going to do, because right now I'm under the, let's say, Bani Umayyah, Bani Abbas's time. I don't have the capacity to distribute this equally with the right appropriate justice, because the government will not allow me to do it. The political limitations on me will not allow me to do it. So this is something that the Imam al-Mahdi will be able to do bis sawiyya. So for the time being, you try your best, don't put it on me. And how will the Imam do it? He will distribute it with justice, and he will do justice. وَيَعْدِلُ فِي خَلْقِ الرَّحْمَنِ الْبِرْ مِنْهُمْ وَالْفَاجِرِ. The one who is Ahlulbait and also the Fajr, he will distribute it equally fairly and justly between them. Even the fajr. If a person is a sinner in a community, does not mean they don't have some of their hukuk. They have rights. So they commit a sin, you're not supposed to assist them in their sins, but does not mean they don't have other rights just like any other person in the society. They have other hukuk. If somebody is charged for a crime, they still have the right to go to court and get a lawyer and all of that stuff. In our community, we don't do that. If somebody is, let's say, committed a sin, committed a mistake, committed whatever, our tendency is to completely cancel the person out forever. Done with this person. Why? Because he did this one sin, two sins, one mistake, two mistakes. But the Imam Mahdi is not going to do that. He's going to make sure that even the fajr, even the sinner, they get the rights that they deserve. Because everyone has rights at the end of the day. So look, what is it saying? It's saying the Imam is going to give the hukuk to even these people. If you were to see this today, if we were to see someone do that today to a fajr and to a fasik, wouldn't we feel a little bit like, whoa, what's going on? It's not normal in our urf. Look at this. We have a narration that, mashallah, created a lot of problems for our fuqaha. And this narration, multiple narrations say, and please don't freak out. This is for the akhir al-zaman. It says, ribhul mu'min ala al-mu'min riba. For a mu'min to profit from another mu'min in a business transaction is a type of riba. It's haram. So hey, well, all the businessmen are here tonight, okay, and your clients are all mu'mineen. So what, I cannot overcharge them, I cannot make money? So look at this narration. Look at one of the narrations that they explain. The Imam himself explains. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he explains over here. He says, فَالْخَبَرْ الَّذِي رُوِيَ أَنَّ رِبْحَ الْمُؤْمِنِ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِ رِبَا مَا هُوَ. The companion is asking the Imam, hey, what is this narration? I'm going, selling my groceries and fruits and vegetables, and you're telling me I cannot make any money from it? He says, قَالَ ذَاكَ إِذَا ظَهَرَ الْحَقِّ وَقَامَ قَائِمُنَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَأَمَّا الْيَوْمِ فَلَا بَأْسَ بِأَنْ يَبِيعَ مِنَ الْأَخِ الْمُؤْمِنِ وَيَرْبَحَ عَلَيْهِ. He says, look, this is going to be a time, in the time of the Qaim, where there will be so much justice that the only reason the mu'mineen will get into a transaction with another mu'min is to fulfill their hajat. There will be no need to make anything extra. So there will be no need to profit from a transaction. Okay, if I'm hungry, right, and you need certain money, and you sell, let's say, fruits and vegetables, I will come to you, I will buy the necessary fruits and vegetables with you, with my money, I fulfill my hajat, and you will charge me exactly the price of that fruits and vegetables and fulfill your hajat. There will be no need to profit from each other. So this is a type of justice that will be there. When people will see this and they will say that ribh from a mu'min is riba, it will look like a new religion. Wait, okay? It will look like a new deen. But what is changing? Is our belief changing? Is our belief about the Imam and the Tawheed, and are these things changing? Or the practice of things is changing? The implementation of things is changing? The implementation is changing. The practical things are changing in community, not the theoretical things. Look at this. In Kitab al-Irshad, there is a narration, once again, إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمْ حَكَمَ بِالْعَدْلِ. Okay, he will rule with adala. فَلَا يَجِدُ الرَّجُلْ مِنْكُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ مَوْضِعًا لِصَدَقَتِهِ وَلَا لِبِرِّهِ لِشُمُولِ الْغِنَى جَمِيعَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That when the Qaim will establish his system, a man will not be able to find a place to give his sadaqah. He won't find a place to give charity, and he will not even find a place to do birr, meaning excessive goodness to people. Why? Because everyone will become ghani. Everyone will become needless. All the mu'mineen. So our idea is that, hey, we should have more charity boxes going home. This is the idea we have today. The more charity boxes that go home, the better it is. It's thawab to give charity to the poor. So our criteria of doing amazing things is more charity boxes need to be sent home and more people need to give charity. But we are not thinking, hey, how do I get rid of this whole problem of poverty? How do I just get rid of it? Okay. So the Qaim will come and there will be no place to give charity because he solved the root problem. So when people will not have a place to give charity, they will say, this is a new deen. There's no charity in Islam. as if they will say there's no charity in Islam. No, there is charity in Islam, but for a certain situation. The Qaim, the Imam will come, and the type of system he will develop and establish, there will be no need for it. There will be no place to give the charity. So it does not just mean Quran, it means prescription, the laws, the application of the rules. It's going to look new. It's going to look new. It's already looking new by me reading these narrations and looking at the faces of some of the people in the audience. It's already looking new. Yes, it is. It's going to look new. So what is this, what is this telling us really? It's telling us that, look, the thing that the Imam is going to focus on is justice, the practicality and the implementation of the deen, of the Sharia in a just way in society. And our focus in the ghaibah, when we say we want to prepare for the Imam and do our responsibilities, really our priority should also be this. Are we thinking about creating systems in our communities that are justice-based? Half of or many times in our communities, simple things like nepotism and favoritism, and this is my family member, and this guy's from my tribe, this guy's from my ethnicity. These simple things that Islam, ye to day one se cancel tha. Day one se Prophet said don't do this stuff. Okay, but we still do it. I'm saying, have we even been able to create systems, just systems in our own community? Some of us want to bring justice to the whole world. Okay, pehle idhar to karo apne community mein, simple community, right? We're not able to establish and provide and facilitate justice for our own people. The people that are poor, the people who are widows, people who are divorcees, people who are suffering with mental health, all sorts of issues. All sorts of issues. Education, schools, children, who's taking care of all of this? We don't have any system. We don't think even like that. And we think that, Imam Mahdi is happy with us and the Aimma are happy with us because we did the 15 Shaban Ammal. And next day, we're going to take a day off, right? MashaAllah, some of you might not know the problems in Islamic schools. The day after 15 Shaban, the day after, some of these big nights, half the school is empty. Half the school is empty. If you didn't know insider, news, half the school is empty. And I'm thinking, in Surah Al-Muzammil, Allah is telling the Holy Prophet, Ya ayyuhal muzammil, qum al-layl. Do Qiyamul Layl. The Prophet is doing Qiyamul Layl more than us every night. He has not just 15 Shaban. He has to do Qiyamul Layl every night. Half the night or full or complete night. Allah is giving him flexibility because He's saying, hey, guess what? Inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. You got big things to do in the morning. The next day, you got things to do. Important things to do. So use the night time for the spiritual, strength so you can go to work in the morning. You got work to do in the morning. Not sleep in. Kal raat ko amal kiye, I'm good. I'm going to need a break now. If the amal are affecting your work the next day or your work is impacting the amal, there's something wrong. You have to balance it out. The Prophet is the best example. Tell me, I don't know any hadith where it says Prophet took a day off. Bro, there's enemies at the border of Medina. You can't take a day off. Like, you gotta, even if it's Ramadan, they're battling the enemies. You can't say, Raat ko amal kiye, let the Quraysh come. You gotta be ready. I told some of the kids who didn't come to school, I said, hey, so last night in the Amal, what were you doing? Brother Ali, we did Amal, I went to JCC, then I went to this center, some of them went to multiple. I was like, mashallah, what did you pray for? We prayed to become, from the soldiers of Imam Mahdi. I was like, wow, if only Imam Mahdi knew his soldiers were sleeping the next morning. Okay, they're all sleeping the next morning. It's a lighter thing, but it's real. So look, justice is important in our communities. Where are we prioritizing our time and energies? So when the Imam will come and he will do these things, it will look like a new religion. This is what's going to make it look like it's a new religion. Now, what about the comparison that the Imam said that, hey, the Imam Mahdi will do just like the Prophet did? Okay, we have some very clear narrations where the Imams will explain themselves what does it mean that Imam Mahdi will follow the seerah of the Prophet. Look at this. Somebody asked Imam Baqir. He says, the companion asks, إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمْ بِأَيِّ سِيرَةٍ يَسِيرُ فِي النَّاسِ. Which seerah, whose seerah will he follow? He says he will follow the seerah of the Holy Prophet. Okay. How will he follow the seerah of the Prophet? Okay. وَمَا كَانَ سِيرَةُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. What was the seerah of the Holy Prophet? The companion is asking clarification. أَبْطَلَ مَا كَانَ فِي الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ وَاسْتَقْبَلَ النَّاسِ بِالْعَدْلِ. He invalidated all the things that people were doing in Jahiliyyah. People were doing in Jahiliyyah. And he invited people with adl, towards adl. وَكَذَلِكَ الْقَائِمْ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ إِذَا قَامَ يُبْطِلُ مَا كَانَ فِي الْهُدْنَى مِمَّا كَانَ فِي أَيْدِ النَّاسِ وَيَسْتَقْبِلُ بِهِمِ الْعَدْلِ. Okay? That just like, so now this has explained exactly to us what did the comparison between Imam Mahdi and the Holy Prophet, what did it mean? This narration just explained it. So let me recap a little bit. We have narrations that say that the Imam will come to fill the world with justice. Then we have some narrations that say that when he comes, it will be a new deen, new amr. Just like the Holy Prophet brought a new deen, new amr. Then somebody asked the Imam that, okay, what does it mean, new amr? He says, oh, what it means is that just like the Prophet invalidated the practices of Jahiliyyah, he provided an alternative with justice and people were attracted to that. So when the Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam will return back, it's not that he will change the beliefs of the Muslims. That, hey, you know, there was supposed to be two gods, or there was supposed to be, I don't know, this and like, nothing like that. Your beliefs are your beliefs, fundamental beliefs. Your basic aqaid, your basic ibadat are the same. But what will change is it changes the tyranny and the injustices in the way we even apply the Sharia. Believe it or not, sometimes you can apply the Sharia in a way where a mustahab act can actually become haram. Sometimes a wajib can become haram. Very famous narration of a companion. His name is Uthman bin Maz'un. Just a simple example to make you understand how even a mustahab thing you think you're doing being religious, how it can even become haram. Uthman bin Maz'un, his wife comes to the Holy Prophet complaining. And she says to the Holy Prophet in the masjid that, hey, my husband is fasting all day and he's praying, doing qiyamul layl all night. And he doesn't give me any time. So we will say, MashaAllah, kya ibadat karta hai aapka husband? MashaAllah, he is namazi, he is sa'im, he's a rozedar. Kya masla hai, khanam, like what's the problem? The narrations say that the Holy Prophet got so angry, he left the masjid without even wearing his sandals. He picked up his sandals. He got so angry. And he went to Uthman. Uthman was still praying. So he waited for him to finish, and then he got angry and he told him off. He says, what kind of injustice are you doing with your family? But guys, pay attention. What is Uthman doing? In the mind of Uthman, he is doing a religious thing. He's praying and he's fasting. This is mustahab, everybody knows. But the Prophet is saying, you are doing dhulm on your family. So that shows a mustahab, or even a wajib sometimes, if it is not done in the right way, in the right time, can become haram. You can do haram with that same act. So justice is very important for us, and this is what we should be thinking about. I will end with one final tradition that shows, even in the Nahjul Balagha, Imam Ali alayhi salam, in one of the sermons, I think it's 137 or 138, depending on the print, he talks about, so look guys, what was the issue that the people had at the time of Imam Ali? His justice. They could not understand the type of justice Imam Ali was trying to implement, because they had gotten so used to the previous caliphs and their ways that when Imam Ali tried to implement justice, they said, what is this new stuff? They've never seen this. And how did Imam Ali alayhi salam keep justifying himself? He said, hey, this is the seerah of the Prophet. This is not the seerah of the Khulafa. It's the seerah of the Holy Prophets. So even in Nahjul Balagha, he says in one sermon, 138, he says that there will come a man from us, that when he comes, he will show you the just way. فَيُرِيكُمْ, he will show you كَيْفَ عَدْلُ السِّيرَةِ وَيُحْيِي مَيِّتَ الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ. Then he will show you the just way of behavior, and he will revive the Quran and the Sunnah, which have become a mayyit amongst the people. Okay? The people at the time of Imam Ali, they still believe in a God, they still believe in Nubuwah, they believe in all of these things. But the implementation of the deen is not fair, is not the right way of implementation. So that is the explanation of these narrations. If people come today nowadays as well, that hey, look, you know what, our deen is incorrect and our beliefs are incorrect, and you know, this is why the Imam is going to bring a new deen, because he will change our beliefs. Something is wrong with our beliefs. Look, I'm not saying some of our beliefs cannot be right or wrong, but these narrations are not talking about your beliefs. These narrations, they're talking about your practice. Ammal kya hai? What is your amal? This is what they're talking about. I will end with this one final beautiful narration. I always love quoting this narration because it really defines, it gives the definition of somebody who is waiting for the Imam. Somebody who is a muntazir. And it gives the best definition. We don't have to speculate anything after this. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says to his companion, he says, Man sarrahu an yakuna min ashabil qaim. So obviously Imam knows that not everybody will be there in the time of Zuhur, especially the people around him. They're not in the time of the 12th Imam. If anyone who likes to be seen, who likes to see themselves as the companion of the qaim, they want to see themselves and they're happy, they get surur from this, they want to be from the ashabul qaim, فَلْيَنْتَظِرْ, then they have to do intizar of the faraj. Okay, how? وَلْيَعْمَلْ بِالْوَرَى وَمَحَاسِنِ الْأَخْلَاقِ وَهُوَ مُنْتَظِرٌ. The muntazir is the person who acts, guys, acts, not just believes, acts with piety, wara, and he has mahasinul akhlaq, he has good akhlaq. We have, unfortunately, tendencies to turn our deen into just theoretical concepts. It's not from today, it's from a few centuries we've been doing this. We have to bring the theory out into the practical world very urgently. Most of the concepts you learn in the deen are actually, they have a practical dimension. From tawakkul to tafweedul amr and intidharul faraj, all of these things, they are supposed to be something practical, not just theoretical concepts. So this is the perfect definition in hadith. The Imam is saying the intidhar, the muntazir, is somebody who is doing amal outside. Doing amal with wara. Wara is taqwa and piety. And they have good moral conduct with each other, with society, with their community members, with their family. Then this person is considered a muntazir. If they don't have this quality, then you are not a muntazir. You're not waiting for the Imam, and you're not going to be from the Ashabul Qaim. Inshallah, I think that is all for tonight. I wanted to just explain this narration. I hope, inshallah, it was beneficial. I think we, in these days and in these months, our most important dua should be for the reappearance of the Imam of our time, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to please accept our ibadat. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to please assist all of the mazlumeen, wherever they are, all of those who are being harmed by the tyrants of our time. We ask Allah to please give them faraj, give them the relief. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to assist all of those who are helping the cause of Islam, all of the maraji, all of the ulama. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to please enable us to be one of the close companions of Imam al-Mahdi and to hasten his reappearance, inshallah. Rahimallahu man qara al-Fatiha ma'as salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
So now we'll have Ziyarat Tawayat by Brother Ismail Okera. Tawajjah Ziyarat.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب. السلام عليك يا سيدي مولاتي يا فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. زيارة وارثة. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامقة والأرحام المطهرة. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي. وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. شهدائك. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه. السلام عليكم يا أسفياء الله وأوداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد بن الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي تبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما. فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. أبي الفضل العباس. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن السيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا ابن الأول قوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. وألحقك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام على أختك زينب وأم كلثوم بنتك سكينة. السلام عليك على 9 المعصومين من ذريتك علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي الباقر وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد بن علي الجواد وعلي بن محمد الهادي النقي والحسن بن علي الزكي العسكري. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب الزمان. الأمان 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 من كل فتن الزمان. عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وسهل الله تعالى مخرجه وظهوره. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على
Tabarruk for gents will be served at the tables. Tabarruk for gents will be served at the tables. Brothers, please proceed to the tables that are located in Zainabiyya Hall A. Chai will be served as you sit down after you receive your tabarruk. Again, chai will be served once you be seated after receiving your tabarruk. Thank you.